So on June 30, I came home from work, tried to call my husband a couple of times to see what we're doing for the weekend. It was Friday afternoon and I couldn't get a hold of him. I rung his work, I rung a couple of his friends. It just felt wrong. There was something wrong because he never doesn't answer my phone calls, and I actually discovered that he'd taken his life at home. So I found him about an hour after looking for him. So that just basically destroyed our world. And it's 4 months next Monday, and it's just something that we're just trying to deal with, and coming into this new world of post-suicide and survivors of and everything. It's created a new platform that I'm now a part of. I've appeared on television talking about my story and how we actually have an epidemic. There is 8 people in Australia a day taking their lives, and 6 of those are men. I'm an author, and I have been working in criminology for over 20 years. Steve was someone who had a tough life as a child. We actually went to school together, so we're high school sweethearts, which is really beautiful. And so we've been together on December 30 this year. It will be 23 years that we've been together. Our wedding anniversary, our 20th wedding anniversary, is in 2 weeks. So that's going to be a tough day. But Steve had a heart of gold. His children were his life. We were a family who did everything together up until, that very last day. Even having a son that's a teenager, we were still close, and we still did everything together. And if you don't invite all 4 of us, we don't go, because we were that close. And he had a couple of jobs over the years, but his last job, it was his pride and joy. He was looking after basically a third of the world, part of his job doing sales. And he used to travel a lot, and I used to send him on research projects, so he'd go to all of these meetings all day, and then after he'd done that, he'd give me a call and say, okay, I'm in this location, what places can I go and take photos of, and things like that for me. So he was really helpful in my writing as well. It was quite amazing that he did that for me, because he was completely supportive. I'm the crazy one. I was the one who, I can't do this, and all this sort of stuff. Not like I can't, but I often get so overwhelmed by everything that's going around us, because I do TV and writing and a full-time job and all of that. And he would always just say to me, you've got this, babe. He was my cheerleader, and always proud of me. Every single post of his on Facebook and everything is mostly about how proud he is of my achievements. And he was my muse, and he was the person who helped me when stories got stuck in the wrong place and everything. He had such an imagination, and our daughter was the apple of his eye. She was so much like him, and so she's been hit hard by this because she was daddy's girl, and she's still quite young. So it's been tough for the 3 of us to now try and work out how we do this, when he was such a big part of our life. He was the one who made sure we always had toilet paper, and made sure there was plenty of batteries and garbage bags and dishwasher tablets. He would buy them every single week. I have about 40 boxes of dishwasher tablets to go through. He just had these quirks that it's taken us a while, but now we can laugh at them. It's been something that has sort of almost come full circle, that we see things now and we think, oh, that's him. It's just nice. After 23 years together, we had a pretty solid routine. So to now have that totally gone, everything is gone. He used to drive me to work. My son used to pick me up from work. All of this sort of stuff is gone. And it's very lost. Like, even just going to the car now, I realise, it's not his car. It's all of that. Mm. Opening the garage hurts. Just his car's not there, and it's all of that. That's just day-to-day reminders of that big massive gap that we now have that can't be fixed. And I always thought, as I said before, I thought that people grieved and got over it. And people have told me that you don't get over this. And because I thought it's going to be an easy thing to just sort of package away, and it's just something, you know, like a keepsake box that you get out sometimes and look at it. But as you can hear, it's an everyday thing. You know, my best friend, the love of my life, you know, my high school sweetheart is gone, and, you know, some days my body thinks he's going to come back. But most of the time it's that realisation again, like it doesn't ever leave, but sometimes you think, oh, I'll just give him a call, or I got to tell Steve about that, and he's not there. We used to talk all day, you know, we used to ring each other, we used to email each other all day until we were together at night, and then we'd sit and chat all night. You know, it was that sort of relationship. Walking around Sydney or something, we'd hold hands, you know, we just had that, you know, and it's just gone. A lot of people say to me how strong I am and that I'm still focusing and I'm still doing all of this, and I think you don't see me screaming. You don't. Sorry. It's just, each morning I have a choice. Do I get out of bed or do I stay? Some days I stay. Most days I know I need to show my children that even though we've lost Steve, that the three of us are still living and we still need to live. And that's a really hard thing to do, because all I want to do is just lie down and just let it go. You know, there's you have those days where you're not sure if you'll get through the day. And so I have people that I reach out to and say, today's the day I need you to be here. There's some days that I don't know I can do it myself. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they've said, you know, we think that our family will be better off without us, and then we see that you're not. And I'm not better off without him. Never will be. And if people understand that regardless of what you're feeling, those feelings do pass. And I don't know what he was feeling to make him think that this was a decision to make. Otherwise I would have stopped it, obviously. If it just gives people an understanding, if they see my pain and they understand what this does, then that's, you know, it's made him die not in vain. For him to realise that, for others to realise what this does, I just hope that people learn. Every day I spend hours a day, you know, I'll be brushing my hair or in the shower or lying in bed at night, and I just think, what was it? What did he think we would be better off? Did he think we didn't love him? Did he think that he had failed? Did he think that he wasn't worth it? You know, I think of all these, you know, did he think I was a horrible person and he didn't want to be with me? You know, there's all of these thoughts that go through my head the whole time. We have no answers. We don't know. I mean, he left us a note, but it was a love letter just saying how much he loved us, and that's all it says. We don't know why he left us. We don't know why he wanted to leave. And so that is heartbreaking. We shared everything. He was the type of person, I never got a present on my birthday because he couldn't keep it a secret. As soon as he bought it, he would be busting his gut to tell me about it, and I would end up getting presents days and weeks before because he just couldn't hold it and hide it from me. And yet whatever this was, he hid from me. And that's the hardest part, is that we shared everything. We had nothing between us that was hidden. If my husband could do this, anyone's could, because he was in a great place as far as I was aware. You know, the weekend before, we'd actually had a conversation that we'd got to that point in our lives now that the bills coming in were less than our pay, you know, like it was finally at that point that we could start saving and thinking about, you know, in years to come of us travelling together, and, you know, because the kids were getting older and more independent. And we actually had that conversation the week before. You know, we had all these plans, and it's just that day he didn't want any of the plans. But, you know, it's just horrifying to think about his last moments and how that must have hurt. It just breaks my heart for him. But yeah, I don't get how we go from we made it to picking his coffin in a matter of a week. It's a topic that people don't talk about, and it's killing our men. And we think that they need to be tough and they need to be strong, but it's that strength that allows them to say, hey, I can't do this today, and that's not a bad thing. We don't always have to have it together. It's just about getting through moments in time. And, if they just hold on and just say, I can't do this today, and people go, that's okay. If we have that dialogue, it could make the world of difference. Whatever it was that stopped him, all that he needed to do was say to me, can't do this. And I would have changed the world for him. Instead, my world changed, and it's not for the better.